even though you're part of a tradition that is really old, you can be very contemporary. So, and you are always very contemporary when you're presenting Hindustani classical music. So, I am just one of those lucky, fortunate students of music to be part of a tradition which has existed for a long time and yet rejuvenates itself and is as new as anything that was born 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Well, you know, from my first LP of the Beatles, which was presented to me by my father many years ago, to what my son now plays to me and tells me, you know, this is what is happening around the world. I listen to all kinds of music. Can't say really that I have, you know, this one favorite, but I enjoy music from Mali, for example. I enjoy jazz, and I learn each time. I know a little more about these forms of music every time I listen to different people presenting them. And I think that exposure really has been part of my upbringing, and I really feel very enriched by it. So I guess for some people, you know, this kind of eclectic approach may not be what they prescribe for a classical musician. But for me, it's been a wonderful journey of discovery and exploring, and it's part of the excitement of, you know, finding more music to listen to every single day. Recorded music for Hindi films have been whittled down to a point where you can actually be in a tiny little room, maybe 1/3 the size of this room, and yet you could have many instruments playing, all generated from gadgets. This is both empowering and also in some ways tragic, because all those people who used to play all those instruments are no longer part of the film industry, or are actually sitting on the sidelines wondering how to make a living while somebody punches, you know, a machine and manages to recreate sounds. And yet there's a lot of skill in doing that. If you do enjoy technology, and if you can use it to your advantage, there's a world there. It's not that skill is not required. It isn't as if you don't need to understand how music can be made. But I think a healthy sense of the acoustic as well as the digital would be wonderful. For many years now, we've been working with social network and with you know, not just establishing a fan base for ourselves personally, but we've had discussions and workshops with our colleagues to say, how would you like to tweet? What is your digital identity? I mean, I wouldn't like to use Twitter the way a 16-year-old would in a coffee shop. So my idea is to use all of these platforms and applications in a way that would make it possible for people with similar ideas, or people wanting to know more, to make a kind of a community. And I find it fascinating. Music, more music.